what nobody knows or understands is like there's no real fulfillment in a finish line. So, right, like most of us dream about it and fantasize about one day going and doing something. But once you do it, the excitement wears off pretty quick, and you're like, okay, what do I love doing?
This episode is brought to you by Jonathan Keim and the teams at 360 Commercial Roofing and Top Roof Marketing. If you own or manage commercial property or you're a roofing contractor looking to grow, Jonathan has spent more than a decade helping businesses protect their buildings and scale through proven commercial roofing and marketing systems. His companies specialize in commercial roofing solutions, roof asset management, and marketing built specifically for the roofing industry. Whether you need a trusted commercial roofing partner or want to generate more qualified roofing leads, check out 360 Commercial Roofing or Top Roof Marketing. You can go to www.360, like 360, commercialroofing.com, and Top Roof Marketing, www.toproofmarketing.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. This episode is brought to you by Blue Collar Business Advisors. If you're running an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or landscaping, or any other type of home service business and wondering where all the money is going despite growing your revenue, you need to talk to Paul Maskill. Paul has scaled and sold multiple blue-collar businesses and now helps business owners improve cash flow, profitability, and financial clarity through outsourced CFO services. His clients gain a better understanding of their numbers, build predictable profits, and create a business that supports the life they actually want. One of the things I appreciate most about Paul is he's not just a finance guy. He's been in the trenches as an owner. He understands the challenges of running blue-collar businesses because he's done it himself. If you're doing a few $1 million a year in revenue and want to stop guessing at your numbers and start building real wealth, head over to bluecollaradvisors.com. That's thebluecollaradvisors.com and schedule a discovery call with Paul and his team. Blue Collar Business Advisors, helping blue-collar business owners build financially healthy companies and achieve permanent profitability. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to RakowskiLawFirm.com. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters Podcast. I'm joined by Chris Lee. Chris is a veteran in the blue collar space. He now owns a number of home services businesses and a couple other businesses as well. He's been on podcasts with all the big names, Hormozy, you name it. And so he's been on my radar for a while. And so thankful that he took the time to come and hang out with us here. Chris, man, tell us about your journey a little bit, man. You've kind of I feel like you've become a poster child for, kind of riding off of the sunset and selling to PE, but I could be wrong,
Yeah, I've been able to experience the ups and downs of the space. Selling to PE is definitely one of those cool highlights, and everybody talks about or whatnot. What nobody knows or understands is like there's no real fulfillment in a finish line. So, right, like most of us dream about it and fantasize about one day going and doing something, but once you do it, the excitement wears off pretty quick, and you're like, okay, what do I love doing? And so, but yeah, the journey is kind of all over the board, man. I started off, I was just a poor kid in a small town. Me and my six siblings and my mom and dad. My dad was a school teacher. Mom was a stay-at-home mom. And so didn't have much. Started working at a young age. Age of 9, I had my first job. And so early in my working life, I just knew how to work hard and traded a lot of time for dollars. And so luckily I found sales when I was 18 and got introduced to this just value exchange, right? Like, man, I can get paid for the value that I bring to an hour rather than just trading my time for money. And so that's where really my getting into the blue collar space, because I've always been involved in the sales and marketing side, and I think where a lot of blue collar businesses miss on is they don't understand that all they really own is a marketing and sales company that so happens to deliver a certain product or service, right? And so luckily I learned that part of the space early on. Saw some successes and failures.
So you're
So
saying
yeah, so
they don't
saw a
go
lot
ahead.
of ups and downs in the space. Been involved in everything. Initially, I from a home service side, I started off in door-to-door sales, and that's where I cut my teeth and learned to grind. And then got involved in a bunch of different products. I've been part of like home security automation, pest control, roofing, HVAC, solar, and ultimately, where we found most my biggest success was when I launched a company out of my garage in 2017. But that was after going through a handful of failures in business.
So, okay, take me through because you've exited multiple times, I think. So take me through the first time it happened. Like, was that ever the goal? Was that what you were trying to do?
To sell the business?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the intention from day one was to build something to sell. And so when we launched Solgen out of my garage in 2017, everything from day one was, all right, we're going to build this, we're going to sell it off. And so we were structuring it, management group, everything from day one was on purpose, by design, 5-year roadmap. All right, this is what we're going to do, A, B, and C, and really on purpose. But the only reason it was on purpose was because I had gone through so many failures and saw what I didn't want to do up until that point. And so, right, like when I launched, so I'm 42 now. I launched my first business when I was 24 and built too fast, too quick, made all the classic mistakes, didn't understand cash flow management, financials, didn't really understand anything about business. I was just young, dumb, and hungry, and overly ambitious, and could sell ice to an Eskimo. And but yeah, just made a lot of mistakes, drove that thing by ego, and that coupled with the 2008 crash and financial crisis and just seizing of the financial markets and whatnot ultimately led, and a lot of poor decisions ultimately led to me filing bankruptcy in 2000, end of 2010, early 2011 for 2.2 million. And, had to start completely over. I was a young married guy. I had my third child on the way. I was 27 years old, had less than $1,000 in my bank account, and didn't know what the next move was. So, you go through stuff like that, and it teaches you a few things.
What do you, out of curiosity, I feel like every business owner has to some extent been through some sort of crazy extenuating circumstances like that. When you hit that rock bottom, like how did you get the mental fortitude to dig yourself out of the hole? Like what was it, a faith thing? Like what happened?
Yeah, I mean, definitely faith has a lot to do with it. For me, I think most people go through hard things, but very few people actually experience rock bottom. And most of us will put up our guard and not take enough risk or enough action to stay away from potentially falling that far, right? And so the people that actually do, and from based on what I've talked with, and for me it was the same, was like you realize it's not nearly as bad as you thought it would be, right? Like you have all these nightmares of like, man, what's the worst case scenario going to look like? I'm going to be living in my in-laws basement. I'm not going to be able to put food on the table, all these different things. But the reality is when I hit rock bottom, had less than $1,000 in my bank account, like still had my God, still had my family, and still had everything that I had learned up until this point. And so because of it, I'm like, man, if rock bottom really isn't that bad, what's ever going to keep me from just taking the craziest risks ever, right? And so like from then on, I was never afraid to fail. And to this day, like I'm like, what makes me lethal is I'm unafraid to go to zero. Like you could take it all from me, and I'd be right back where I'm at a couple years from now, right? And so just because ultimately the possessions that we have are just simply fruit. And you asked me about my offline about my cherry orchard. The thing I love about a cherry orchard is that the goal isn't to produce cherries. It's actually to become a tree that's capable of producing cherries or a fruit. And so like so many of us, we chase fruit, right? We chase possessions, we chase goals, we chase the finish lines, but like those things come and go, and sometimes extenuating circumstances damage it, right? Like a freeze can come in and ruin your crop. And so people that are so attached to the outcome, they'll go and chop the tree down rather than just like, hey, wait one more season and fill it out, right? And so like for me, it's all about becoming the tree capable of producing. And so like you can take my fruit and I'll come back and produce a big crop next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, side note, love cherries. So I'm going to need to get some of those. That's
They're
great.
fantastic. Yeah.
You've been on so you mentioned Alex Hormozi, you mentioned a couple other names before we hopped on. Have you been starstruck by any of the people that you've gotten to interview with and have podcasts with?
Not really. So Alex and I go actually way back. Alex actually came and attended my mastermind back in 2020 before he made the big stage and who he was. And so, I actually, we help co-consult each other, during our different exits. And so him and Layla have been friends for a long time. And I go back to like 2012 with Grant Cardone and, some of these people. And so I would say like one of the key things that has made me lethal also over the years is I've just consistently worked on my network and like being in the right rooms, paying to be in the right rooms, spending a lot of money on my personal education, masterminds, workshops, all those different stuff. I've spent about $1.5 million on my own personal development in that regard. And so it's allowed me to rub shoulders and become really good friends with people that most people would consider stars, and for me are just regular old Joes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. So talk to us about what you're doing currently. So it sounds like you're doing kind of your own roll up. You're building a portfolio of companies. Like when did you decide to do that? And what, how's it going, I suppose?
Yeah. So when I was 39, I stepped away. So I had sold my business when I was 38. And then at the age of 39, so I stayed on 1 year as the CEO, and then I attempted retirement. I made it about 6 weeks, and yeah, just realized there wasn't a whole lot of fulfillment in just being in my cherry orchard or out mowing the lawn every single day or playing golf. And so I've always found a lot of just joy and happiness in building teams and developing culture and just creating opportunity for people and changing people's lives. And so, 3 years ago, I launched a podcast. It was originally called the Founder Podcast and rebranded as Next Level Pros Podcast. And with that, started to have some initial success. At one point that first year, I think we were top 10 business podcasts in the world, and that was really cool. And there was a lot of people that were reaching out and saying that they wanted more like in-person type things or whatnot. And so the goal always was to build a community of people that we could impact. The goal always was to build a community of that helped accomplish our mission of designing lives that impact the world. And I always loved the education space because like that was really the turning point in my career that launched us to a lot of success. It was being around people that had done way cooler and bigger things than me, and so I wanted to provide that same thing for the blue collar space. And that's where the podcast originated. And I knew I wanted to be involved in some level of helping these different business owners, whether it was partnerships or whatnot. And so then eventually we ended up launching a community where people pay for us to coach them, and one-on-one we have CFOs and different things like that we go in and we help integrate into these businesses. And then about a year ago, we started launching our portfolio, and where we would buy into or partner up with companies, take an equity share and provide a backbone operational structure to be able to help these companies scale. And then with that, we also launched up spun up a couple of our own startups. And so I've got a pretty awesome management team. I've got about 15 executives that are part of my management team, everything from CFOs to marketers to, guys that have been a part of other businesses with me, that we act as the operational back structure. Plus we have a bunch of support staff where we insert ourselves into these companies and we operate with them on a day-to-day basis and help them scale. And from that, we've been able to have like huge results. Like there's guys that have come in that we partnered with 6 months ago that we've literally in 6 months time have 6x their revenue.
That's insane.
On a monthly basis. And so we operate, just at a different level. A lot of these, you're in the blue collar space, right? Like a lot of these guys get stuck in that owner operator level where it's just hard for them to get out of the truck or get beyond like having one crew, two crew, three crews, to a level where they're managing managers, right? Like at best, a lot of times at best case, these guys are directly managing crews, and worst case, they're on the crew. And so just to helping empower those guys and to really like level up and build something that's exitable and provides like true equity and enterprise value.
Yeah. Yeah. I am curious to hear. So it sounds like, any of these companies can come in and they're basically borrowing your team. They're borrowing the back office. They're borrowing the marketing. They're borrowing the sales, the systems and the structures. So in many ways, they just have to like just trust your team to build and grow it. And maybe they're in charge of just setting the pace and the culture for the team, and maybe doing something else. Like, what does it normally look like? What's the
Yeah, so typically, we've got a pretty long list of people that want to partner with us. For us, it's finding the right fit of the partner. We're not looking for somebody that like wants to just like offload it onto us and chill out, nor that it like wants to be done. We're looking for builders and growers that are just lacking the infrastructure to be able to do it. And so we're looking for somebody that wants to run the boots on the ground, and then we run that back office structure, and then we also have people that are going around and training and developing these teams and like helping them recruit. So like we have we have like full-time headhunters that staff these companies. We have full-time we have full-time marketers. We have full-time designers. We have full-time branders. We have full-time CFOs and whatnot that we insert into these businesses and provide like the payroll, the accounting, the bookkeeping, all this stuff that guys hate doing inside the business. They're wearing all the hats and they're like, man, I just got into this because I'm a good electrician and now I'm stuck freaking keeping the books. Right.
Yeah.
And so just giving them power back into the thing that there is their own domain. And so, yeah, we use like all kinds of really cool tools. Have you ever heard of a thing called the Culture Index?
No, I haven't.
Dude, Culture Index, back when I was launching my own businesses, before doing this portfolio thing, we use something called the DISC assessment.
Yeah.
The Culture Index is like 2 layers above that, and essentially the Culture Index like tells us like every candidate, every manager, anybody inside of our organization, we know we can like read them like a book based off of this little index that they take. And so the goal is that we don't want to change anybody. We just want to put them in their own domain where they're going to excel, right? That they're going to be able to focus on their strengths, have their weaknesses made up for by somebody else's strengths. And that's really what builds excellent teams. And it's when someone who's strong in something and weak in something else, and they're still doing everything, including the thing that they're weak in, that's where someone's going to struggle all day.
Interesting. It's so funny to me because one of the things we do is virtual assistant staffing. And I have actually been literally looking for a way. There's a level above like your very typical VA, like, you hand off $3, $4, $5 an hour tasks. I just pride myself on finding someone who's just a dog. Like she blocks and tackles for you. She thinks ahead for you. I think every blue collar guy needs someone like that, like creating an offensive line. And beyond just like being able to look at their profile and watch their little blurb video, I haven't figured out any sort of Myers-Briggs, DISC. I'm like, what is something that will tell me if someone's a dog? Like I want to know, And I wonder if Culture Index.
That tool is the Culture Index. And like, that's
okay.
Like literally, I have never found such a great profile. Like you can lie to me in an interview, you can lie to me on a resume, but you cannot lie to me through your Culture Index. And that to me is so powerful. And like, man, in the times that I've tried going against it, I'm like, man, this person seems different than what their Culture Index. 100 times out of 100, I'm proven wrong, right? Like this is the way that they are, and you're not going to change it. So, and the interesting thing about every profile has a strength. Every profile. It's just, what is it? We're always trying to stick square pegs into round holes, wondering why the artist can't be the engineer. And the great mastery of team building is having everybody do their strength.
Yeah. Amen. You probably get to see a lot, obviously with PE rushing into the space, there's such an opportunity to create generational wealth. I see so much masterminding going on. All of these big names, Hormozy, Andy Elliott, Cardone, they're all trying to like buy and acquire and coach blue collar businesses. What do you think the future of this space entails, especially with the advent of AI? Like, where do you feel like the space in general is going?
Well, the thing I'll tell anybody is that the blue collar space is the ultimate hedge against AI, right? Like, it's going to be the last thing that's going to be replaced by the robots. I have a pretty like crazy theory as far as like 15, 20 years from now that none of us are going to be doing anything. But yeah, ultimately, AI is an incredible enhancement to, like the best blue collar business owners are going to be utilizing AI in all of its best regards, whether it's agentic in frontward facing voice, or it's your backstop behind your CSRs, to the automations of just basically increasing output by anywhere from like 15 to 20x. And
Yeah.
that's a huge thing. Like like I said, I've got a team of about 2025, but we probably operate like a team of 250, just based off of like, I built a company up to 1,100 employees from zero, and that same amount of 1,100 employees, I probably today with AI probably could operate with like 400 or 500. There's a few that we couldn't replace as far as like technicians and stuff in the field, but man, AI is just like so incredible as far as what it can do, and not just be a replacement to Google.
Where do you, so I'll tell you where I think blue collar guys should be using it, and you can correct me if you think there's any others, but so speed to lead, no question. The phones, right? If you're not doing it for after hours overflow, I think you're crazy. Um, a couple that are interesting to me, just like automating basic workflows, but one that I, think is easily done by AI, accounts receivable, inventory management are
Yeah,
some sneaky
absolutely.
ones. Where else do you feel like guys should be implementing these tools?
Training and development, absolutely. I mean, obviously, there's tools like Rilla and those type of things out there, but like, um, you should be recording. Like, ultimately, if you want to take advantage of AI, you got to be a professional data gatherer, right? Like, you
Hmm.
need to be recording everything. And myself, I literally record everything. Right now, I've got my plot over here being charged right now. Are you familiar with plot?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I literally wear this all day, every day. It's like my ultimate goal to make myself immortal, where like my kids can talk to me after I die, right? And so, but part of that, like this is like the ultimate data gatherer that you can wear 10 hours a day, and you should have all your employees wearing some sort of recordable device. All your meetings should be recorded, all your training development should be recorded, so on and so forth. And then just creating workflows that have incredible summarizations, one pagers, distribution of like imagery and data graphics and everything else, right? Like taking all the thing and everything that we do on a day-to-day basis in our interactions and making it actionable, right?
Hmm.
Where there's follow-ups and so like for example, I have like little workflows that my plod goes through, where at the end of the day it goes and hits my assistant with a prompt where it asks all the questions. Right, what decisions did Chris make today? What do we need to add to our to-do list? What SOPs need to be developed based off of decisions that were made, so on and so forth, right? And
Yeah.
like these things are happening in an automated format, thus like providing ton of power to my assistant to operate at a whole nother level.
Yeah. Yeah, same principles with your chat or your Claude or whatever, right? You download your brain to it, and it has the more data it has, the more effective it becomes. So I didn't even think about that. Like every blue collar guy should be recording everything. That
Everything.
way, they can easily create the systems, frameworks, SOPs, and make it scalable. I
I
love
mean,
that.
legitimately, if you do not have your techs in the field wearing meta glasses, you're missing out, right? Like, I mean, they should be recording all the install, or at least half of it. Like, record, like, use it for training material, use it for content, use it for marketing. Like, there's so many ways that we can, if we just become professional data gatherers, then we're going to be able to fully utilize AI.
Hmm. Man, we've talked about a lot today. What's something we haven't talked about that gets you fired up or you're passionate about?
Man, I'm just passionate about people, and like that really, if you want to build an incredible organization, it's all about like developing the whole human, right? A lot of people think that like I need to compete on pay, or I need to pay somebody more. Or people don't need more pay. They need more focus on who they are physically, economically, their relationships, and their spiritual side. And if you can be the backbone structure for those things, and really like focus on like being a whole solution for your people, man,
Yeah.
you'll develop an incredible culture that anybody would die to be a part of. And like,
Yeah.
and I think that is just like the secret sauce in building business.
That's so great, man. It's, honestly, the number one pain point. And some of these podcasts I run, I just want to give the guy a hug. I'm like, his best tech just left him and hung their own shingle. Like some of the stuff that, especially the construction guys, man, those guys, that's a rough space to be. But, hiring, maintaining, and finding skilled labor, especially the guy, just got off the phone with an electrician in Texas. Like the data centers are going up left and right. For them to get a decent electrician for their residential commercial business, it's 200 grand, to get a
Right.
decent tech. So that's the secret sauce. If you can't keep that pipeline flowing and keep them developed, then you're not going to be able to grow and scale. So
And
that's just good.
and guys do not leave you for more money. They leave you for more opportunity, more appreciation and recognition, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
and so like if you're just treating your guy like a standard blue collar guy, like whatever, like you're on him, you're yelling at him, of course they're gonna leave for more money.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What's next? What's next for you? Are you got some companies under LOI? Like, what are we doing?
I
Where
mean,
are you
we've
going?
got a big 5 year target. 5 year target of $17 billion exit. So that's what we're freaking chasing, and we're doing it with full steam ahead. And so that's what excites me, gets me out of bed in the morning, because I know what that number represents as far as life's changed.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that. Well, where can people go, Chris, if they want to learn more about you and what you're up to?
I mean, you can always follow me on all social media platforms. It's at Chris Lee QB, like quarterback, and that's pretty much across the board. And then gonextlevelpros.com is everything as far as like what we do and what we offer.
I love it, man. Well, what an honor to have you on the show. I'll probably want to have you back on in a few months, just check in and see where things are at. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast.